thing about transgenderism is it's the LGBT revolution overplaying its hand, right? They could get a certain ways with gay rights, with gay marriage. And Americans had a sort of a tolerant live and let live approach to a point. And then it was the transgender stuff that really began to cross that line for people. And I mean, women's sports, the pronouns, all of that sort of stuff began to wake people up to go, hang on, what are you doing? What are you saying? No, I'm not going to just continue playing make-believe. I'm not going to play along with this game that we all know is a game. And people were able to kind of build a fairly broad coalition fighting back against that. And it's an eclectic coalition. It includes Christians and conservatives, certainly, but also gays and lesbians who resent the overreach of trans. And so there's been some interesting and maybe somewhat uneasy alliances that have formed there. I'm not sure how long those will last. But Trump has calculated correctly, I think, that by signing these executive orders, he's signing things that the majority of America is with him on, because the left has overplayed its hand here. So I do have hope that there will be a turning of the tide there. Now, what that means for LGBT in general, I'm not sure. That's an interesting question. It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen whether there's a reconsideration of Obergefell. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. We'll see. But I think the wind is definitely at the back of the people who are against transgenderism.
Out in the middle of the Australian and country, only a matter of days ago, a man said to me, I'm not interested in politics very much. I'm just a tradie. He said, I'm so glad that Trump is standing up against women women being forced to accept men in their sport. And then he went on to say a very interesting thing. He said, my wife goes to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and she says she just doesn't know what she's going to do when she walks in one day to get changed and finds there's a big hairy-bodied man there getting changed as well, claiming to be a woman.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think people who have normally considered themselves on the American left feel the same way, that they're sort of quietly, for fear of being rejected by their former leftist friends, they'll say these things to each other quietly. And so now for it to be gradually becoming mainstream and Trump is a real turning of the tide, it's an encouragement to people. One point I would make, though, is it's still... conservatism without Christianity is still limited. And so if you think about the effects of transgenderism, you think about where it leaves people who've had certain kinds of surgeries, who've taken certain kinds of hormones, and it wrecks them. You can't go back from that. And you have to figure out, imagine a parent who did that to her child and never wants to admit what she actually did. Where is she going to find forgiveness? Where is she going to find solace? It's similar to a woman who's had an abortion. Where is she really going to be able to lay down that burden? And Christless conservatism can't offer that to people. So it can get you a certain distance. It can, certainly help to keep the public order, create safeguarding, create laws, all of that, excellent and good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's the Christians who are going to have to really come in and help to pick up the broken pieces for people.